With the grandmother who helped raise him gravely ill in Hawaii, Senator Barack Obama is taking time out from the campaign to be by her side. It's the top story at the bottom of the hour. Senator Obama is expected to jump off the trail for at least a night to spend some private time with the grandmother he calls Toot. But while he's gone, Senator McCain is not planning to waste even a moment. Why would he? Today, he's sprinting all across the battleground state of Florida, coast to coast to coast, as they say there, a state where the candidates appear to be almost neck and neck. And if he can't win Florida, the insiders will tell you it's over for John McCain without Florida. In an interview on CBS's Early Show today, Senator Obama said he's willing to take the risk here because when his mother was dying, he didn't make it back in time.
We knew she wasn't doing well, but the diagnosis was such where we thought we had a little more time and we didn't, and so I want to make sure that I don't make the same mistake twice.
Some people say there's risk involved in this with so little time left.
Yeah, well, I think most people understand that if you're not caring for your family, then you're probably not the kind of person who's going to be caring for other people.
No, hard to argue with that. So with precious time running out, what, if anything, can McCain do with his opponent off the trail? With us now, Republican consultant Megan Ortegas and Democratic consultant and former Bill Clinton pollster Bernard Whitman. I guess there are a couple ways to look at this, Bernie. There's so many analysts out there now who believe the best thing Barack Obama could really do is freeze things. I mean, things are going his way. He doesn't need to make any mistakes. And you wonder if, as sad as all of this is and human as it all is, if there's not the possibility that it might not even be a bad thing for him.
Well, no, I disagree with that. I mean, I think that Barack needs to continue to press his case to the American people. But, he's got to go and spend time with his grandmother. This is who Barack Obama is. This is a woman who helped raise him. And this is fundamental to his character. I mean, it's so obvious that Barack Obama cares deeply for America. He cares deeply for his family. And I think the American people respect that. And so to do anything but Shep, take some time out to be with this woman who really was significantly responsible for raising him would be counter to who Barack is as a person.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't that be counter to? I mean, come on. If you have the means, you can get to someone who's, gravely ill, tells us something. I mean, who wouldn't do that? Come on, seems a little obvious to me. At any rate, Megan, in the meantime, John McCain is out there trying to change things. He has a lot of changing to do, and it would appear now that he's settled upon a message of redistribution of wealth. Is it sticking anywhere?
Yeah, I think it is. The McCain campaign did a really smart move today. Florida has already started early voting, and McCain's making a swing across the state. He's got 6 different stops today, and at each stop, he's sending a message that's resonating, especially with Florida voters. He's saying, in this time of economic trouble, we're fighting 2 wars. Do we really want to elect the most liberal candidate and one of the most inexperienced candidates to ever run for higher office? In addition to that, if Senator Obama was elected president, we actually know how he's going to govern. He's already told us that he's going to raise taxes and that he's going to redistribute our hard-earned income to people who, frankly, haven't worked for it.
Well, that's not what he said.
That message.
He didn't say he's going to raise taxes. That's not what he said at all. He said he's going to raise taxes on people who make more than $250,000, and he's going to lower taxes on everybody else. Now, whether that's what happens in the end, whatever. But that's not what he said.
But Shepard, what's important to note, if you look at Senator Obama's tax plan, what rate actually goes lower? There actually isn't a lower rate. There is a check that goes back to people. So you have to closely look at his plan. He also talks about 95% of Americans getting a tax reduction when 40% of them don't actually pay taxes. So his tax plan does need to be investigated much more. It's not what it seems on face value.
Bernard,
Shep, this charge of socialism is yet another one in a long string of tactics that McCain has been flailing about since the bottom dropped out of the economy. I mean, the truth of the matter is...
You know what they do in socialist societies, though, right? You know what they do, Bernard? They take from the richest people and they give it to the poorest people.
Look, the truth is
they also buy up the banks and they buy up the insurance agencies.
Look, Shep, I don't think we're going the way. I don't think that we're going the way of the socialist bloc. What the American people have seen in the last 6 weeks is 2 men with very different approaches about how to fix our economic problems. They've seen 3 debates. and by 2-1 in each of those debates, they have judged Barack Obama to have a more clear plan, a better tax plan, a better approach to fixing the economy, where 95% of the American people would either have their taxes held steady or cut.
Of course, it was Barack Obama who said, we want to redistribute the money. He said it right there to Joe the plumber. And Bernard, it seems to be sticking in some places. Some of these swing states, the polls seem to be tightening. And I'm just wondering, as one who looks at things objectively from time to time, if Barack Obama being off the trail for 24 to 36 hours, despite what the reason is, if there's not a concern within the campaign that could stick even more.
I don't think 24 to 36 hours is going to make a difference, because the message is going to continue. His campaign is going to continue. The communications from his campaign are going to continue. Now, the truth of the matter is that the polls are tightening a few points here.
Sure,
but John McCain has got to run the tables to have any chance of getting anywhere near 270 votes. He'd have to pick off 3 states that are leaning to Obama: Virginia, my home state, Colorado, and New Mexico. He'd have to win Ohio. He'd have to win Florida. Yeah. And I think in these waning days, that throwing around a charge that Barack Obama is a socialist, most Americans are going to look at that and say, come on, John McCain, you need to get back on the Straight Talk Express. The next thing we're likely to hear from McCain is he's going to call Barack a communist.
Megan, just a few seconds left, Megan. Wrap things up for us if you would.
Sure. Well, you know, I think the Obama campaign doesn't need to erect the Greek temple yet. You know, let's not put up those Greek columns yet for Barack Obama's victory. I still think that there's a chance for McCain to pull this thing out. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's reminding the American people that in a time of economic crisis, when we're fighting 2 wars, that we need a strong and steady hand, someone who's going to be a leader who has been tested. Let's not forget Biden's words from a few days ago at a fundraiser that said Barack Obama hasn't been tested, and the world, our adversaries, will test us.
What he said.
We don't need that type. He did say that.
Okay.
Yes, that's what he implied when he said that our adversaries will test us. That implies.
What he did say is that he would be tested. I don't know how he knows this. I don't know how there'll be some contrived test, but it's what he said, and he hadn't been asked many questions about it.
And
we haven't got an explanation
Biden
about
also
it.
said that. Biden also said, no, excuse me, Biden also said this during the primaries.
Megan, I got to go commercial. I said I'll bring you back, and I will, because we love everybody. What about the Senate? What's going to happen in the Senate? That's our focus next.